Right, my next question is the evolution of the eyeball. How did the eye evolve? Were we bumping around this planet, around the bushes, the forests or whatever, like the plains, for millions of years waiting for the eye to evolve? How did we get away from man-eating animals? Did we have some kind of protection up here to protect the development of the eye, so that we wouldn't poke ourselves with sticks and things and fall down and keep cracking our heads on rocks or whatever like? So if you could just explain the evolution of the eyeball, because that is so very, very important to us. What was the eyeball before it was, or what it is now?
Do you actually believe that any evolutionary scientist ever believed that we were ever human before we had eyes?
Well, next question is evolution of sexual organs. How long was it before we were able to reproduce the way we do now? And also, if we needed to pass water, were we waiting for the penis, not a very nice word, embarrassing word, the penis to evolve so we can actually urinate? So the evolution of sexual organs and the penis, so we can actually relieve ourselves when we need to get rid of, empty the bladder, as it were.
Do you expect me to believe that you actually believe that any evolutionist ever believed that we had bladders before we had a way of emptying them, or that we were already human before we had reproductive organs? I can't tell you how disappointed I am by your reply. I don't think anybody could misunderstand evolution so badly, no matter how stupid they're consciously trying to be, and if you're going to be deliberately obtuse like this, then I've no more patience for you. This is why I say that you can't defend creationism intelligently or honestly. I would have loved to answer the question about the evolution of sexual reproduction, because that really is an interesting story. So is the evolution of the eye. The elegant explanation Darwin originally gave is also well substantiated in taxonomy, zoology, and paleontology. But before I can explain any of these things, I would have to drain your brain of the feces festering in it and replace all that with a clue.
And also, another question I'd like to ask you, Aaron, or anyone else out there who might have an idea about this. I do not see any evidence today of transitions.
What sort of transition are you looking for, Andy? From dickless, constipated blind guys to half-cocked, one-eyed incontinents?
Within not only our species, from apes to humans, or humans to whatever else we are aspiring to be, I don't see that. I see no evidence at all about that.
Aha! So you do realize that what evolution really teaches is that humans descended from more generalized apes, who themselves descend from basal monkeys and proto-primates and so on, from a long line of ancient ancestors who already had eyes and all the other necessary organs long before we were even remotely human. In fact, one of the defining characteristics of anthropoid primates is that the penis dangles freely and isn't tethered to the abdomen the way it is in most other mammals. Our morphology, coupled with a few recent discoveries in genetics, are some of the many reasons that humans had to be placed back into the family of apes, where we always will be and cannot be classified otherwise. You don't see transitions between humans and apes because humans are apes.
In fact, I don't see any evidence of any transitions from any species to another.
You don't see only because you won't look. You have no education, you've never done any research at all, you refuse to learn anything about any of this, and you won't even watch any of my videos that so many other people have advised you to see. Like the one where I list dozens of instances in which speciation has been directly observed and documented, both in the lab and in naturally controlled conditions in the field. Or the one where I listed hundreds of definite, unambiguous transitions in the fossil record. Or the one where I showed how to prove our placement in the tree of life. If you want to see all these things for yourself, stop blocking your vision with a storybook and look at the world beyond that binder.
Yes, now I agree with you that there is transitions within a species, natural selection, all that goes on, but you do not see a species crossing over from a monkey to a man.
That's right, we don't. Instead, we see that humans are still monkeys right now, and I can prove it. Humans are a subset of apes, and apes are a subset of monkeys. If you don't see any transitions there, then tell me, have you ever seen a transition between a boxer and a dog? How about a half taxi, half car? Which of these is a football? Can you show me a point halfway between Swindon and England? Do you understand that all ducks are birds, but not all birds are ducks? What would it look like if a bird were to cross over and transition into a duck? A duck is a bird in exactly the same way that a human is an ape, and for the same reason.
Or from an amphibian to a mammal. That we have not observed. We don't observe that. That doesn't happen.
That's correct, but only because mammals aren't descended from amphibians. However, if you're not using a taxonomically accurate definition of that word, and how could I expect otherwise from you at this point, then we do see every stage of that in fine detail, represented in an adequately completed sequence of fossil stages dating from at least the Devonian period to sometime in the mid-Jurassic, a span of a couple 100 million years. If you want to see something like that happen now, that's fine. How long can you wait?
I do agree with you. With a variety within a species, selecting genes from within that species to enable a species to carry on subject to its environment. I agree with you on that.
Then you agree with evolution, and your earlier comments that evolution was a lie was itself a lie. You accept that evolution happens. You don't accept the degree to which it happens because you're programmed not to, and because you don't know anything, and you're not willing to learn anything now. You're not the only one that gets hate mail either. I get hundreds of emails a day, a lot of it from Christians who tell me that I shouldn't debate people like you or Gear Up or Ray Comfort because creationism, they say, does not represent mainstream Christianity. But even creationists tell me that everyone I might point at and think that I'd like to debate that person is too stupid to represent real creationism. I've been accused by your own peers of selecting you as the worst possible example to exploit to make creationists seem dumber than they are. Now, the real reason that I chose to debate you is because you seemed initially to be less a deceiver than simply deceived, and because you sent me a list of some very basic and easily correctable misunderstandings, so I thought it might be worth my time to go over some of the things that I discussed in the Foundational Falsehoods of Creationism series, albeit a bit slower and in more depth. However, the questions that you've asked me now are so dumb that I realize that even other creationists are embarrassed. Because you know what they're emailing me and saying about you? This.
It's an absolute embarrassment to me, and people see that, and it indeed puts people off. It's a circus act, and that's where it belongs, that form of Christianity.
That's why I'm calling this debate off. You have no interest in having an honest discussion, and obviously didn't even watch the video I made for you specifically. Neither will I accept any subsequent challenges from any other ignorant ass out there who pretends to know or care about truth. I'll tell you what I will do, though. Since so many Christians have accused me of debating only morons in order to make myself look better, I've got a suggestion for you creationists. Nominate someone whom you all agree can and will adequately present the creationist collective position and trot him on out here. We'll follow a simple format of very few questions at the end of each reply, 5 or less, please. Preceded by appropriate responses to the preceding post. Prove to me there is someone out there that can present an adequate case without listing an embarrassing string of obvious errors or deliberate lies, because I don't think it is even possible to find a credible creationist, nor one who could present a case intelligently, logically, or honestly.